since cookie deprecation and a lot of different things which actually ruined the tracking as we knew it a long time before. So RedTrack is a solution which actually allows to restore tracking. And my role was actually to run the paid ad campaigns for RedTrack. We also use it internally. And now I'm head of marketing. Basically, we are running wider brand awareness. And moreover, like one of our main missions is to explain people that like beyond pixel tracking, there are other methods of tracking like server to server. And we actually heavily promote on using the advertisers conversion API integrations, just because they allow to fill in this gap not only for attribution analysis and all those fancy reporting stuff, which a lot of the really good solutions on the market provide nowadays. But the main thing, as you know, the majority of the ad platforms, like the big players, like Facebook, for example, they use machine learning, and their algorithms learn on what they are being fed by the advertisers. So the math is really simple. If you throw into the algorithms bad data like lack of conversions, bad conversions, fake conversions, you get the same type of output, you get the same type of outcome, and the optimization really suffers. So conversion API is kind of not very popular topic for conversation, and I understand it's like more geeky probably. But I think that it should be revealed a lot and give additional exposure. It's not that difficult. The base is really simple. It just maybe the implementation has kind of several ways how to do that. And for example, solutions like RedTrack provide one of the simplest one on the market, apart from the custom. But today, actually, I wanted to to talk with you about the importance of like what actually conversion API gives to the advertisers, what might be the obstacles on implementing that either independently or with some third-party solutions. What should you pay attention when you choose such solutions? Maybe some potential fails during the process, and maybe a little bit about RedTrack at the very end, not to heavily product place that in this session.
And keep me honest. I believe there's a free 30-day trial for anyone interested in trying RedTrack.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's no free trial, 30 days. If you're interested, reach out to myself, or I already saw one person that's interested. So yeah, there is a free 30-day trial. So make sure you do that. No risk, no obligation.
Yeah, exactly. And we got the documentation. You can test the tool. You can reach out to our onboarding and support, and they would be happy to assist you in the implementation process. So the conversion API integrations are available on free plans, so you can test that. It's not that like you would see some interface and the reporting capabilities, but you would probably get the test of the value for what I'm talking about today. All right, so we basically skipped through the first slide, which is more like a take, like what's important today. Because I would repeat again, a lot of I just recently read the Reddit today in the morning that a lot of advertisers complained that like the attribution sucks here, it sucks there, and the reporting like is not very convenient. But we should always ask ourselves, like, why do we need all those things? And basically, the main value is in actually collecting the conversions in the right way, how it was done before the cookies were deprecated, and then to send this back to the ad platforms to decrease your ROAS, to increase your ROAS, to decrease your CPA, and to reach the maximum ROI of your advertising investments.
And I know a lot of people are going to be sitting here and saying, oh, I mean, Cappy, that was from 2018. Who doesn't have that installed? Like, that's pretty basic, I was just in a meeting or doing some consulting with a company that's probably $700 million a year. They didn't have Cappy installed. So granted, they're not on Shopify. Shopify is a lot easier because there's out-of-the-box solutions. But across the board, you will be surprised at the level of people that do not have this either set up correctly, they have it partially set up, they're not deduplicating events right. And that's kind of where this solution and other solutions, but specifically RedTrack, make this so simple because it can be so complex. So don't think that, oh, everyone has this set up, it's pretty basic. That's not the case. And that's clearly evident, from a week ago with a meeting I went in and looked, and it's like, you guys can't even track properly. You don't even have CAPI set up, and you're spending, millions and millions of dollars. So yeah, it happens more than you think.
Yeah, exactly. And we are aware that the problem exists and it's very big. So probably we should start from a basic mess here. And like, of course, when we come across some problem, so we need to be aware of the benefits once you implement the API tracking. So I would just basically repeat that restoring the lost conversions. This is point A. Again, we are working in the era when the ad blockers, the cookie banners, and the different data privacy laws are everywhere. So that's something which actually influences directly the amount of tracked conversions. And ad platforms like RedTrack, for example, allow to totally in the compliance with those requirements to collect the conversions almost in a full volume. Then once you collect those conversions with a third-party tool, like not with a Pixel, for example, or with a Shopify setup, you get reliable independent data, which is owned by you. You got it on your own server, so it's a raw data. Then you again future-proofed. You future-proof your tracking against any type of upcoming privacy changes because there are partners who care about that side of stuff. And the outcome of that for business is obviously improving the performance of the ad tracking.
Two questions. One, Google just recently said that they're not doing away with third-party cookies, which actually now has led to Apple saying to remove Google Chrome off of your phone. How does the Chrome aspect with third-party cookies staying, how does that tie into CAPI, and does that make a difference at all?
So basically, it's the whole problem occurs in the fact that once your conversions happen on your website, they are the data is recorded into cookies. So this is the root of the problem. And with the ad trackers, I'll say it differently. With a server-to-server tracking technology, you basically avoid cookies and you capture the data on your website, send it to your server or the server of your partner, like Ad Tracker. And from there, via conversion API protocol, this data is sent from your server to the server or the ad platform. It's enriched with the additional high value data of different types. I would talk about that a little bit later. And this enriched data sent according to special protocols. It's totally de-anonymized, so you don't break any data privacy laws. It's sent back to Facebook. It's or Google. You might take it. You name it, and it gets on their servers, and then the event data matched. You can also measure how accurate your conversion API integration using event match quality score, and we will talk about it a little bit later as well. It's a very important metric to observe once you're implementing conversion API, or if you want to estimate if your ad tracking platform works good enough. And then the magic happens. So once the data back there on the ad servers of the platform, like Facebook, they first of all able to build your not sampled reports, like they are currently using those model stuff to show you, sort of say, forecasted data, not the real one. And you see the real data in the reports. That's like one piece of success. And the other one, you basically feed the algorithm full chunk of data even more. You enrich it. Solutions like RedTrack allow basically not only to send the conversions which were caused by Facebook campaigns, but they send all the conversions generated by your shop in bulk to Facebook, and Facebook accepts them all basically. So they got a lot of data enriched with useful information, and they optimize better. So you get lower CPA, you got higher ROI, you are in profit. And then if we look at another one slide from my presentation, basically I'm trying to explain here almost the same, like there are several ways how can you implement conversion API protocol. Like, first of all, you don't implement that. We go with option A, right? As you mentioned, a lot of advertisers still go with that option. And you get what you get. You get a very low quality score of the event match. Usually it's like, according to Facebook manuals, as far as I remember, if it's usually like might be grade 3 and lower, which is really bad. And then you can go with the hard way, where you try to implement conversion API by yourself, involving here developers, reading the manuals, spending lots of time debugging, etc. And usually, like, it does not end very well because it's more a way of consistency, lack of experience. So usually, like, people who implement conversion API on their own, they reach like 6, maybe 7 grade in the event match quality score, which is not bad. But with some third-party solutions where like the whole business is built around building infrastructure of capturing the events, enriching them, and sending back to ad platforms, you get usually like around 9 and higher, closer to 10. Not always 10 out of 10, but very close. So the presentation is quite heavy in some places, but I also managed to make a table just to make a comparison. If somebody would like to, I would be happy to share the presentation after the stream. Just let me know. Basically, I explained here all the major obstacles and difficulties with self-implementation, which is usually followed by, and we heard from our clients. And then, like, if you really want to go this way, like implementing conversion API on your own, there should be a certain checklist followed, as I call it, checklist. So it's also can be applied also to third-party solutions. Watch the integration and compatibility. If you go on your own, usually like everybody end up with integrating copy for one ad platform, while the majority of platforms who do that stuff now integrate with the majority of the biggest platform like Facebook, Google, and TikTok. Watch strictly performance and reliability. This is again about event quality match score, which we will cover a little bit later. Privacy and compliance. This is a no-brainer, and probably the majority of the solutions nowadays have all those certificates and the protocols which they follow in order to be compliant, because you work with the data. Implementation and maintenance, this is the most trickiest part. So good solutions on the market, if we are not talking about self-implementation, they should provide a high-level support, which is really into the technical process. They should know where the problems might occur, because the ad platforms very often change their own protocols. And if something is changed, they are not always active in communicating that, right? So whenever this happens, there usually might be a break in delivery of the events. And this is actually bread and butter of the ad platforms to track such kind of changes. And by the way, we are, for example, Meta business partner in the category conversion data, which actually means that we are on the direct line with Meta when it comes to changes, updates of the protocol. So we are into all the best practices and always in touch with the team from Meta.
What's an expect? So like for someone that's saying, okay, cool, this is all very tech, like down to brass tacks. Let's say you're spending, I don't know, $50,000 a month. And I know this is hard to give exact numbers, but spending $50K a month, tracking, like a 3.5x in platform, you're doing like 300,000 a month on Shopify. What kind of incrementality or increase does one see if they don't change anything else? but they just implement a robust CAPI solution. What's the percentage of what extra you would capture in platform?
It might really vary, but some of our clients claim that we restored up to 50, sometimes 60% of the missing conversions. That's a really high number. In terms of ROI improvements, ones claim that it's like from 20 to 50% of ROI improvement. Really hard to say like what are the absolute numbers, but still people are really open to attend the case studies, and they share the real numbers there in terms of improvement. So like, and usually conversion API is like the feature which goes like motto through all those case studies.
Right. I was going to say, 15 to 30 probably on average would be my suspicion and kind of what I have seen. Now, for somebody, if you're going from somebody like no CAPI that's spending, $100 million a year to CAPI, that's where you're going to see a completely different, game changer. I think CAPI to no CAPI, huge increase. Out of the box Shopify to, a RedTrack integration, lower increase, but still a good increase for incrementality.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it's also about the budget. If you run like small advertising campaigns with let's say less than 10K monthly, then definitely you should question if you need conversion API and all the fuss around that. But then if you spend like thousands, 100,000s, is definitely not even a question, especially if you do the multi-channel advertising, and you can basically implement automatically in a few clicks several conversion APIs and do not waste time on maintaining them, keeping your development team busy. So yeah, definitely even like restoring 20% of the missing conversions out of 100 would be a really game changer, which you would immediately notice the next month in your ROI.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So the other points are probably obvious, and I covered them. We always start from capturing the data, and then we build all those analytics and reporting and count the costs and return on investment. So if you do not capture the data properly, so it means that you just build the fancy reports on the data which is inconsistent. So for me, it doesn't make sense. Just a moment to advertise a little bit RedTrack. So as I mentioned, we are the go-to solution for ad tracking and conversion API integration. It's easy to set up. We support all the major ad platforms. For Meta, we are already a business partner. We reliable in data handling, as I mentioned. So we capture the data real time. It appears almost swiftly in the reporting. And moreover, we provide ongoing support to our solution. As I mentioned, this is really important when it comes to the changes in protocol, so that you don't have a headache with that kind of process, and care only about making the decisions based on the insights which we provide you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we're coming up to a more interesting part. Like usually, once you implement something new, you want to see the quantifiable outcome of that, right? And when it comes to conversion API, like the only transparent and obvious KPI is event match quality score. In my presentation, I provided a screenshot of how it looks like in the Meta Ads Manager. So you can basically go to your data source where your pixel is, find any event, and if the event is sent via server to server channel via conversion API protocol, there would be an opportunity to check out what is the quality score behind the event. So basically, this is an event. This is a metric which allows you to measure how effectively Meta is able to match your events which you send via conversion API protocol And then the higher the score is, the better it matches the events and the more full data it uses for campaign optimization. So
And I can add a little bit onto this too. So like typically when we use, because we do have a lot of like, you might have a lot of smaller clients and they use the out of the box Shopify. I would say typically, so you got to think of it. Facebook has to have, to go into more of some of these parameters and how this all works, Facebook has to have that information about that user. So think of it as like the funnel steps. You have a page view, top level page view, then you're going to go to a viewed product page, then you're going to go to an add to cart, then you're going to go to initiate checkout, and then you're going to go to purchase. So at like the page view, like necessarily 9 times out of 10, they're not going to know your email address, right? Because
yeah,
who hasn't gave it to them, you haven't gave it to them. So there's only so much data that you can pass back. Typically out of the box on events like page view content, which is viewing a product page, we'll see with a Facebook sales channel a 3 to 4 match rate. We've implemented solutions like RedTrack itself, and you'll see 5, 6. So right out of the bat, right out of the gate, you're already seeing, a pretty significant increase just on people visiting your page because they're passing, things back like FTP, which is a different version of, something for Facebook match. So they're passing back more customer information. You get a better match quality score. Then when you get into like add to cart, initiate checkout, specifically purchase, we'll usually see 7 to 8, never really any 9s on purchase events because they have all your information. You've entered it in the checkout, that's captured by the pixels, that's passed back via API on the back end of Shopify, and that's pushed into Facebook. And they say, okay, Justin bought this information. Does his email he submitted on purchase match the email that he submitted on checkout? The answer is yes. That's a pretty dead giveaway. 9 times out of 10, if that's your same information on Facebook, you're going to get a pretty good match quality score. We'll usually see about going from like a 7 to low 8s to a 9, mid 9 sometimes. The highest I've ever seen is probably like a 9.3, 9.4. So that's hard to get over that on the purchase score. So how this all works is there's 2 things with this. You have your browser cookie, and then you're going to have like what you're pushing back through the API. And if you don't set this up right, what can happen is you can actually duplicate events. So in some scenarios, the way that it works is you go through, Facebook is capturing all the cookie events. They're looking to match that back because you purchased. They don't have that cookie because maybe you're using Safari, which blocks, if you're heavy iOS, Safari out of the gate blocks cookies, it blocks trackers automatically depending on your settings. They can't match it. So if you don't have CAPI, you're going to miss that purchase. But if they have the server event and they have the browser event, there's deduplication, and I don't know if this is in your presentation, but what they do is we're passing back like an ID. I believe it's external ID, and you can keep me honest on that.
Yeah.
Pass back the external ID with the cookie, and you pass back the external ID with the server event. And what Facebook does is they take those numbers and they look for a match, and then they merge them together and say this is one purchase event. So that way you're not getting double purchase. But yes, you can clearly see like when you go in and you implement these, it's very easy to see the lift because if you go from a 4 to a 5 on an upper funnel event like page view, essentially think that as of able to retarget 1 out of every 10 extra people. So before you could only retarget page views 4 out of 10, now you can retarget 5 out of 10. Well, that's not that many. Okay, well, if you're driving 10,000 people to the site a day, or you get 5,000 people a day, or even 1,000 people a day, that's 10 every extra 100. That's an extra 100 people a day you can retarget using that math just on page view. 100 extra a day. So it can add up very, very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't explain that even more, like the importance of the event match quality score and what parameters actually influence this quality score. What's worth mentioning here is that Facebook, for example, has a list of those parameters which are used for event match quality optimization, and it actually splits those parameters into batches, into groups, where he ranks them. Like there are, for example, high valued group of parameters, which are obviously the phone number and the email. Then there like medium valued group, which is maybe, I don't know, name and surname. And this is an open access information, by the way. You can find it in the Facebook manuals. So I'm not just trying to say that like if you just send an email and the phone with your event, it would be quite enough to get 8 out of 10. But the more information you feed, like the high value from high value group and from the low value group, like information you can parse from the browser parameters, the higher you reach this match quality score, event match quality score. And basically, yeah, the problem might occur at any stage if you are using some custom solutions or self-implementations, duplications, lost data, data which was captured but not sent appropriately according to the protocol. So, like, it's better to use some technologies which allow you to streamline the whole process, because there are too many water stones there to care about that on your own.
Yep. Yep.
So maybe to summarize what we talked about, I wanted to present like in a broader categories how to optimize event match quality. First of all, as we discussed with Justin, you need to send high-value user identifiers, email, phone, name, surname, all the possible data which you can capture, the full list on the Facebook. Then definitely, in order to not to get to a situation where the data is not captured properly or lost, it's better to use server-side data storage, which actually allows you to capture the data immediately from the website to your server and then pass it via conversion API protocol to the ad platform. I put separately the point which is called enable event enhancement, because this is the part where probably the majority of cases with self-implementation end up not being successful, because it requires certain knowledge of like which data can you additionally take and attach it to the conversion events and send it to Facebook so that it accepted it and took into consideration for the event match quality score. As far as I remember, at RedTrack, we currently like capture all the possible, like the full list is covered. And usually, if the event match quality score is low, it's usually the problem of implementation rather than execution. And as I mentioned, follow the conversion API implementation guidelines. They are provided on the official support documentation of the ad platforms. So that's basically it.
So there is a free 30-day trial. What are the extra events? So like an out-of-the-box solution, Facebook, and then you have like, you have your FTP, you have your IP address, your external ID, your FBC. You have all these different parameters that get passed. What is it that the Shopify out-of-the-box sales channel is missing? Like, what are you guys doing extra? If I'm building a house instead of building the I mean, I could say, well, I'm a better builder. I use 2x6 walls instead of 2x4, right? So I can get more insulation in there, so you save more money. Like, what is it that you're doing, or what are those parameters that you're passing back? And are you also, second question, is there's another platform that I know some of the people use. The founder of that one is a former Facebook engineer. They're only using, and they don't use browser side. They only use server side, which I've never truly understand, because I feel like server side should get everything, but there's probably some instances where it doesn't. I don't understand the logic behind that. So those two questions.
Okay, so I think when it comes to setting the parameters, both RedTrack and Shopify probably send the same amount of parameters. I mean, like we did not invent that. And as I mentioned before, we all use on the market, all the solutions use conversion API guidelines provided by Facebook. So I assume that the problem might occur in the quality of execution when it comes to copy integration. And this is the problem which I mentioned before, that if you somehow miss the point where the data is captured, you get unfull data in, and you get the not full outcomes after.
Yep.
So probably the problem more is in the execution, because for us, conversion API is bread and butter, and we have seen so many cases of wrong implementation, not full implementation, and we basically were able to build the solution, which I would not be afraid to call an industry standard now, because a lot of our clients shift from different solutions to us, and they claim like that RedTrack really has a great event match quality score, and they're satisfied.
Yep.
When it comes, what was the second question?
About
server-side implementation, right?
Why server side versus browser side? Like they're the only ones. They're the only ones that I know that do server side only. Again, I understand the thought process behind it, like browser side. If it's going to catch browser side, it's going to probably obviously catch server side. But I would say that's not always the case. Like I think that's a limitation of them doing that. But what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that, like the smart guys, the smart advertisers, they use the combination of both. And even if you go and analyze the solutions on the market, they like the ones which both claim that they got their own pixel, the same as RedTrack. They never use just one technology. We use the blend of technologies. So also with the RedTrack, you go and implement RedTrack Pixel on your website. And we use the combination of the Pixel technology and the server-side one, just for the case where one might fail to do its job, right, to capture the data.
Great.
And then there comes the magics under the hood, where like we capture the data, we make sure it's not duplicated, and we actually make sure that in case some of the protocols fail, we are able to capture the data with the other means of tracking.
Agree.
So my answer is to use both.
I agree. And then I had one more question, but now I forgot. Okay, so I know obviously we're covering basis on only the CAPI side, but obviously RedTrack is a lot more than that. RedTrack is a multi-touch point, full funnel attribution optimization tool. Obviously, most people in here probably know the competitors. There's, obviously Triple Whale, and there's other ones. I'm putting you on the spot here too, by the way. We didn't rehearse this. What is the big difference? I'll say, I mean, I personally know one of which is price, but what are some of the other big differences of RedTrack when you get into the, because they all Triple Whale does, I think it's called their triple pixel or something like that. Like each person has their own variation of this, but in full transparency, like this portion isn't even really the most powerful part of RedTrack. There's much more to it, which is being able to see, lifetime cookie history going forward once you implement the tracking. But what are the big differences or the key selling points of RedTrack versus all of the competitors? Because I mean, let's be honest, there's 30 of them, right? Some of them are great, some are not some great, some are really, really expensive.
It's a crowded market.
Yes.
It's a very crowded market. Yeah, thanks for a question. Actually, it was not rehearsed, but in the morning I checked Triple Whale website. We do this competitor benchmarking once a month, definitely, to stay up in touch with the reality. Triple Whale is a great product. Really, they got amazing interface, amazing functionality. It's just they play in a slightly different league than RedTrack. It's e-commerce marketing analytics tools. It means like if you own the e-commerce shop, like on Shopify or WooCommerce, it doesn't matter, and you want like one cockpit for everything to analyze, like Google Analytics, for example. you might use triple well definitely, but RedTrack, comparing to triple well, it's more a solution designed for performance marketers. There's people who work with the paid ads, and we basically originated from the affiliate industry, where the price of tracking mistake might be very, very expensive. So we understand the pain points. So coming back to like specific examples of how we are different, not only when it comes to the audience, right? For Triple Well, it's more analytics of everything when it comes to marketing and the performance of the e-commerce shop.
Yep.
When it comes to RedTrack, it's more ad tracking platform for performance marketers who also do the ads for the e-commerce shops. And we do that really good because, first of all, as I mentioned, our bread and butter is in very accurate data capturing and sending it via conversion API protocols. So this is our base and foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And when we compare that with what Triple Well offers, they offer Triple Well Sonar, as far as I remember. This is their feature.
Yep.
And it usually starts from the like upper bar pricing plan, as far as I remember, which is higher than 200 per month. We provide conversion API on the free trial already. Like if you go and register, you can already set up conversion API and test it.
Mm-hmm.
And then real-time reporting. This is what everyone has. We capture the data about ads performance very accurately, real time, with a server-to-server protocol. We send it back via conversion API, and we are also able to build all those reports, which Triple L can. But the difference is that we focus more on a more granular performance marketing reporting. It means that if you go and log into RedTrack, you got a table with which is totally customizable with different parameters, and you can drill down up to 5 dimensions there and analyze that data according to different angles, like what devices, what countries, cities, basically anything which you can send through the URL parameters can be used as a data point, which you can use for analysis. So it's like a way for ads performance marketers, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the third layer of what we do is actually, I would repeat from the beginning, we capture the data accurately and trying to do that in a full volume of possible things. We then put it into a reporting system where you can slice and dice the data in a way that you want to see, like which campaigns up to the ads level perform or not, to scale winners and cut the losers. And then we have the automation module where you can set up the rules, and those rules actually would pause, launch ads, scale the campaigns, and do the media buying job on scale, right? And then recently we launched an AI assistant, the same as Triple Whale, but we don't charge any money for it right now, so you can go and test that.
And I will confirm, we have one person that uses Triple L, and I don't. So there's two parts of their AI tool. One of which is like their basic Mobi, and then they just recently launched. And I know we talked about this weeks ago, but they recently just launched, and I went and had a demo with them. It's like their agency tool, and what that does is it allows like real-time data analyzation and rules to basically like give you feedback in real time of like what it's seeing, what it's doing, and then it's able to take that and build it into like PDF decks. It's nothing that like personally I'm not already doing with just doing a simple export, putting it into Claude, taking that Claude, putting it in the Gamma app. If you have not watched the live with Maxwell Finn, who is a fucking genius, watch that on AI. It's literally mind-boggling. That add-on feature for Triple Well was $2,500 a month just for that add-on for AI. I literally almost fell out of my chair. It's super cool, but it's not worth $2,500 a month.
It's a gold rush of AI.
Yeah.
That's how everybody making money.
Yeah, and I believe you guys are just already including that.
Yes, it's included. we still call that it's in beta, not because it's raw, but because, AI is changing all the time. I just recently read yesterday that previous months, Google claimed that they released a protocol of agent-to-agent conversation. So now agents can communicate with each other and do the job like a team.
Yeah.
So AI is changing. It's evolving all the time. And yeah, at RedTrack you can go and use the RedTrack AI assistant. It would answer your questions like ChatGPT, like what campaigns perform the best, what are the worst, which ads should I scale or pause. It would draw you the beautiful graphs based on your, like, you can ask it to draw the graph and understand the trends and dynamics behind that. And the best thing, it can take actions like an agent based on your command. Like you say, okay, I see that this campaign for Brazil is not working. So let's pause all the ads which have ROI, I don't know, minus 50%. And it would execute it immediately. So, and you don't have to pay for the 2,500.
Let's do a live on that and show that in real time.
Okay.
Let's set that up. If you need an account to do it, I'll try and get one, but I would love to set up an integration and be able to show that. Let's try and plan that in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I like the idea. Let's show it to the public. We would find the right account with the real data. Actually, for those ones who want to see that immediately, we have a recording, which is provided in the Facebook group. So you can check it. The post was recent, but
Is that the one that's pinned? Let's see. I just saw there was a comment on that one, I think, because somebody wanted the free trial.
yes, and they reached me out actually.
The AI Copilot. RedTrack's AI Copilot. Yeah, okay. Today's video, I'll tell you more about rhetoric. I think this is it. It's like 5 minutes long, right?
Yeah, it's pretty short, but let's definitely organize demonstration session.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty neat. That's definitely cool.
Yeah, and maybe just as a final addition, we also have a partnership module at our platform because we are not only working with the paid ads as a big channel and all the sub channels, but we got this partnership module which allows you to set up and launch your referral program inside of RedTrack as the other channel of sales generation for your shop.
Yep. Okay. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. If anyone has any questions, I know you already had somebody reach out to for a demo. If anyone has any questions, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
I'm pretty active on the Facebook, answering questions and posting in your ad groups. And I can leave my LinkedIn account. So if anybody wants, you can reach me out there and ask for demo, any questions about the product. I'm pretty swift and open to answer them.
Okay, cool. Sounds good, man. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Hang back. I'll go ahead and stop this recording and then we'll converse quick all in the live. Thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions, 30-day trial, hit them up. If there's anything I can help you with on the marketing side, questions, let me know. Happy to just donate my time to help anyone that needs any help. All right, everyone have a good weekend.